If you're a doctor who just cannot seem to finish work on time, this video is for you. I was hoping to film a proper sit-down video for this, but I've just run out of time this week and I really want to get a video out every week. I'm trying to stay committed, stay consistent to my posting schedule. So here we are. We're going to film a little bit of a get ready with me. If you're new around here, welcome. I'm Dr. Sarah. I'm a medical doctor and an online coach. And if you find this video helpful, you like the way that I give advice, then you can check out the description box below and see how we can work together, how I can coach you, how you can join the membership that I've started where I'm helping healthcare professionals get out of being stressed and burnt out into a place where you're loving life. You've got time for hobbies. You're enjoying yourself. So let's get into this video. How can we finish work on time? And I'd just like to say that I am aiming this advice at doctors because I'm a doctor and this is the stuff that I know helps. But it may be helpful for you if you're a different type of healthcare professional. Number one, boundaries. Say it louder for the people at the back. Boundary setting is key. You have heard me speaking about boundaries before if you've watched any of my other videos. A lot of us in healthcare are people pleasers, and often people pleasers don't have the best boundaries. We just say yes to everything. We want to appear nice, we want to appear likable, we care about other people and we care what other people think of us. And so that can mean that we end up having weak boundaries. What does that mean in reality? What does it mean in real life? Things like making yourself overly available, being on the ward too much, when actually what's really important is going to the doctor's office and getting that work typed out, chasing all those bloods, being focused. How many times have you been on call as a doctor? You've gone to the ward to do a particular job and nurses have said to you, or other healthcare professionals have said to you, oh, while you're here, can I just ask you to do this? Or can you just do this? And perhaps, you know, those jobs might be very valid things for you to do, fine, but they may not be your job. They may not be things that you should be doing. They may not be things that you should be doing right then. They may be something that would be more appropriate for the ward doctors to do in the daytime if you're on call at night, for example. But because you want to be a nice person, because you're a people pleaser, you say yes. And it ends up meaning you have more work on your plate than you really need to be doing. Don't make yourself overly available. Get your jobs done, prioritise the things that you need to get done. It sounds harsh, but the real focus is getting the jobs done for the patients that you're looking after. And as that saying goes, if everything's a priority, then nothing's a priority. So you need to focus. The obvious exception for this is, of course, if there's an emergency. Of course, if there's an emergency and you're pulled away from your jobs list, of course you're going to go and help out. Along with boundaries is remembering that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to picking up that overtime if they ask you if you can stay late or work some extra hours. It's okay to say no if they call you at the weekend and ask if you can come in. Have those boundaries in place. Know that it's okay to say no. Number two, take off your hero's cape. Now I feel a bit harsh saying this. If you have a feeling that I have to stay and make sure this gets done so that it can get done properly, and if you feel like you are the only person that can be responsible for making sure that that job is done correctly, I think you need to have a good hard look at yourself and ask yourself whether or not you've got a bit of a hero complex. And I think that that can happen to us in healthcare. I'm being a bit mean, but ultimately we are good, responsible, caring people on the most part. And a lot of the time we have a bit of perfectionistic tendencies. That can mean that you have this feeling that you have to do everything yourself for it to be done correctly. Trust your colleagues, hand over jobs. That's what handover is there for. Do your best and hand over the rest. There are plenty of other capable staff. You are not personally responsible for the smooth running of the hospital. You are a little piece of the jigsaw. We all do our part. You do not have to take over responsibility for everything. Do your work and then leave. Number three, prioritise better. I think this comes with experience and seeing how other more senior staff, people who are a bit more experienced, manage to prioritise things. When you're prioritising well, you realise that no, not everything is urgent. Some things really can wait. It feels uncomfortable, it feels frustrating because we really do want to give good care and we want to prioritise our patients and get everything sorted for them. So ask yourself if it really needs to be done. Does it really need to be done by you? Does it really need to be done right now? For example, does that meds chart really need to be written up in the middle of the night? Probably not. Next point. Take your lunch break. Okay, this sounds counterintuitive. If you're finishing late all the time, you're probably, like I used to think, thinking that if I just work through my lunch break, I'll have more time, I can get more done. But let me tell you, that It's not going to get you away on time. What's actually going to happen is you're going to end up working through your lunch break, getting hangry, not working effectively. It's just generally a bad habit to get into. You can look after your patients better when you are well fed, well rested, and you've had a break. So go take your lunch breaks, protect that time, switch your brain off, go and do something else. And I'd also like to point out, when you start to view yourself as a leader, so as doctors, I really feel that we are leaders. We're inspiring the people around us, whether we like it or not. We're inspiring the more junior staff, we're inspiring our colleagues, we're inspiring our patients. And if they see you regularly working through your lunch break, for them that becomes the norm, and you're kind of setting a bit of a tone on the ward. Make a pointed effort to be that person who always takes their break. You're setting a good example. My final point, work on your self-esteem. So what does this have to do with finishing work on time? How is that going to help me, Sarah? Well, I'm glad you asked. The reason I was staying late and finishing late all the time was because I didn't trust myself. I was definitely a people pleaser. I was definitely a perfectionist. I overthought everything. I wasn't trusting in my own abilities. I was overcompensating because deep down I didn't feel like I was good enough. I wanted to double check everything. It really was a self-esteem issue. I think this is something that gets better and gets easier as you become more experienced, but it is something that you can be working on at any stage in your career. And if you're finding that you want to work on your self-esteem, this is absolutely something that I can help you with in one-to-one coaching. I would be delighted to help you, because honestly, the more healthcare professionals who have high self-esteem and are looking after themselves really well, the better care our patients are getting, the better experience we're all having at work. I think it is a top priority for us all to be working on our self-esteem. Something else, I guess, a kind of couple of bonus tips for you here. If you have people on your ward, other staff, who are regularly finishing work on time, getting away, getting all their jobs done, working efficiently, and getting out that door, watch what they do. Ask them how you can be more efficient. Ask them if they've got any tips, because there may be some things that are specific to the particular job you're doing, the way that they work their jobs list, or the systems that they're doing, the ways that they're doing things could be a useful learning experience for you. I know that I've picked up a few tips and tricks from various people in the different rotations that I've done as a doctor, kind of specific to that particular job. And I'd say that the best people to learn from are probably parents. I remember there was this GP trainee that I used to work with, and she was like, I cannot stay late at work. I have to get away to pick up my child from nursery because there is no one else able to do it. It has to be me. I can't be late. And so she made it a top priority to get her work done as best as she could while she was at work, and she always finished on time. And I was just like, okay, I've got a lot of stuff I can learn from this lady. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you've got any other tips that have helped you make sure that you're finishing work on time regularly. If you've enjoyed this video, then you're going to enjoy this video right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.